In with one of many announcements that was made earlier today, including the fact that the Education Ministry has offered to give 100,000 shillings in terms of financial support per family to the families of those who were affected in the Garissa attack. This is just one of the issues that was touched on. Our senior reporter Aaron Ocheng was covering that multi-cabinet statement. And Aaron, I know there was more which was said with regard to the students who survived the attack.
Yeah, right, Edith, as you rightly put it, 100,000 shillings is what the Ministry of Education is pledging to give to the families that have been affected by this tragedy. But besides that, the Education Ministry is also saying that Garissa University will be closed indefinitely until further direction is reached. And the students who are schooling there will be absorbed by the mother university, that is Moi University. They will be absorbed in various campuses across the country. Besides that, also, this joint ministerial statement that was issued, the Office of the President also touched on a number of issues, including the closure of several accounts that are suspected to be terror-linked. A foreign Cabinet Secretary Amina Mohammed saying that they are still investigating those accounts, but as of now, they have frozen them pending more investigations. Edith.
Now, Aaron, before we move on to some of what was said, let's go back to the freezing of those 86 accounts. We did know that they belong to individuals, and there are forex bureaus which have also been closed. Do we know which specific ones and which specific individuals?
Well, the Cabinet Secretary did not divulge much attention as to whether the whereabouts or the owners of these accounts, but she said they are investigating because of a number of issues, maybe to do with large sums of money being exchanged, coming in and coming out. But as she said, they are still investigating, and probably they will get some more information in regard to those accounts, and if not, maybe they will be returned to their owners. Edith.
Now, going back to that issue of the survivors of the attack in Garissa, is this a decision that was reached upon in consolidation or in consultation rather with those survivors, or was it purely a ministerial decision?
Well, as of now, we would call it a ministerial decision because there hasn't been even much interaction between the families and the government, besides the Cabinet Secretary for Health visiting Chiromo Mochri on a number of occasions. So I would say this could be a ministerial statement. I wouldn't say that many of these families have been consulted, but we're waiting to see how far this assistance will go. But also, the Cabinet Secretary for Health went further to say that only 14 bodies have not been identified so far, and they're giving it up to tomorrow morning. He said would be the deadline of when they will be able to fully identify the bodies that are badly damaged. Edith.
Okay, Aaron, just stay with us for a second so that we can just hear a little bit more of what was said in that joint ministerial statement.
The government, under the leadership of His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta, has put into place elaborate security and administrative measures to extinguish terrorism on Kenyan soil. These wide-ranging efforts include the freezing of all assets suspected to have been linked to the masterminds of the terrorist attack. Members of the public should also remain vigilant to help forestall any further terrorism attacks and security breaches.
Have closed Garissa University College indefinitely. As to whether the students will return to the same college or not, we have answered that question in the sense that we have said all students who have been there will be distributed in the mother university, that is Moi University. Our intention is not to return any one of those students there, primarily because of the trauma they have gone through.
You saw 2 or 3 families claiming the same body. So if you are to release some bodies and then they are the wrong ones, actually you have committed more distress to both families. So we thought to fast track the process, get the process concluded by end of day today, and then give these families the coffins, we have dressed the bodies, and the transport, plus 100,000 shillings then they can actually now go and bury, effective from tomorrow. So hopefully by tomorrow you see the situation changing very quickly.
So, Aaron, a very rare chance we saw of almost all the cabinet secretaries in one place, but I understand they didn't field questions.
No, we had a chance to ask them a number of questions, especially in regard to the directive by the president that the 10,000 recruits that were recruited in the last recruitment exercise by the police. As you know, Edith, the president said that they should be reporting to the training colleges in Kiganjo on Sundays, rather. So we asked the Attorney General legality of that, because we're still waiting for a directive from the court in regard to that matter. But he said even if the courts nullify the whole exercise, it will be on a number of centers, and it might not affect all the 10,000 recruits. Edith.